I did, and it was my work, not their fucking work. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. It took a little bit of a break for Miami Music Week and to recharge as well. So thank you for your patience with that. But we are back to talk about an important topic. I don't get asked this question too often, but it does get asked, so I wanted to cover it off. And the question is, should I essentially get married to a manager or an agent? And the reason why I use marriage, it's a powerful term because it really is that. You are hooking yourself to someone or an entity or group of people to be able to achieve certain results for you. But before I jump into that, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we have up and coming. All right, so let's talk through this one. The reason why I use the term marriage is because, as I said earlier, it is exactly that. You're entering a relationship, a business relationship with a person or a group of people to be able to do work on your behalf. And how you approach these things are vitally important because it could really set you back a few years or propel you straight ahead to where it is you want to go. So let's jump into it. So point number one is to enter these relationships to pursue growth, which is the main reason why I did this. And I think with the way things are changing so quickly with technology and people taking more ownership of their content and building their own platforms to attract their specific audiences, it's not unusual for you as a creator to reach out and see a manager and say, hey, would you like to work together? Or vice versa, where a manager reaches out to you and says, hey, they think they can offer you more. Similarly with agents, most of the time it's an agent being approached by a manager or someone representing you as the artist or content creator to get put on essentially in order to operate as a gateway for other gigs. But really and truly, I think that is the biggest reason why you should enter these types of relationships, is to pursue growth and scalability. There's only so far you can go with getting local gigs and gigging within a certain radius of wherever you live. You know, you need to explore the world and connect with various people in different business entities and clubs and relationships. And for me, managers and agents were the way to go with that. So pursue it for growth. And point number two here is when you enter these relationships, it's very important to have clarity on what is expected. So not to sound brash or arrogant or egotistical here, but I make it very clear in the business relationships that I enter that I don't work for them, they work for me. And I say that with the utmost respect because in this music industry, I recognize that I am the content creator. I'm the person putting out the music and attracting certain audiences to play and engage with my music or engage in any of the other products that I have from an educational perspective and DJ sets. And if they are engaging me and want to pay for that transactional exchange, that's my thing. It comes from me. However, I do need the skill sets of a proper manager to help negotiate things, to help me reason through certain things for clarity, and an agent as well who can not only hunt and gigs on my behalf, but as well handle the stuff that comes to me directly. I want to push a bit more on the latter part of what I just said. There was a time where I was like, you know what? Everybody's coming to me. I'll just handle and manage these gigs on my own and negotiate it on my own. And the value of having an agent actually is that it allows me to just focus on the creativity. You know, it doesn't really matter if people came to me directly versus an agent going out and getting gigs for me, because at the end of the day, if you have an agent, they can get you the maximum amount of value and save you time in those discussions with a promoter or whoever it is that's interested in booking you. But at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily working for a manager or agent. It's part of my business collective and they respectfully work for me, and it's a partnership through and through. And point number 3 is before you enter any of these types of relationships is to learn from others. That means talking to your peer group, understand who has worked with that particular manager or agent in the past, get the feedback, good and bad, and then make the best business decision for you. I made that brutal mistake early in my career with one of my, well, actually it was my second agent, where I didn't do that due diligence. I simply trusted in what my managers at the time said. Oh yeah, they're a good agent, let's go with them, they can get things rolling for you. And unfortunately, it turned out to be the type of relationship where that particular individual was spending deposits and almost had to feel like I was begging to get paid for performances that I did, and it was my work, not their fucking work. And as a result, it just left a very bad taste in my mouth, but I'm glad that I exited that relationship very quickly, to be in the right one that I have today. And point number 4, I raised this earlier in point number 2, but the whole thing here, it's a partnership. And with a partnership, you have to ask yourself the question at times to a manager and or an agent, what are some of the things that you can do as an artist to help push forward and get the results that you're looking for, as well as what would help them to do their jobs a bit more succinctly, not necessarily easily on their parts, but to help push the momentum along. It's a very important perspective to have when entering these relationships, because if you just look at it as, what I was saying earlier, that no, these people work for me, it has a certain tinge of arrogance to it, which is not really progressive. But at the same time, people need to understand the creativity is coming from you. You're entering a relationship with them to work on your behalf to be much more expansive. But it's a relationship. It goes both ways. And by viewing it as a partnership at the end of the day, you will drive the right results that you're expecting. So it's very important that you look at it as a partnership, because you can evolve and change with things. Like, one of the biggest changes that I see coming in this industry is the whole topic of currency. What should we be charging in currency? Based on the data that I have and things I've seen in the news and evaluating where the world is moving, it's going to be neck and neck between the euro and US dollar. And I say that because you have different countries moving away from what was called dollarization, meaning that the country would use the US dollar as their primary choice of currency. And that has a huge impact. If you get enough countries with influence to move away from that, what you charge in the market will start to be affected. And it's important to understand where that lands. So in a partnership that is 3 ways, myself, a manager, and an agent, we need to have these discussions as they come up. And it's a question I've already asked to my team in terms of their initial thoughts and where we should go with it. So anyway, not to belabor the point, it's very important to recognize that. And last but not least is point number 5. This has saved me immensely, as I said in the previous points, where I entered that agent relationship without doing my due diligence and asking for feedback within the industry about these individuals. It's called the term, how long you will be involved in these relationships. And my recommendation to you is to go with 1 year and evaluate every year whether this is working effectively for you or not. It not only protects you, it also protects the people that you're entering these agreements with. Now, some people might push for, well, we work with a minimum of a 5-year term, and some agents or managers don't work without some clearly defined term, and others do. But my recommendation is keep it to a year. That allows everybody, all parties, to come back, look at how things are going. Do I like working with you? Am I getting the results that I need respectfully? Yes or no? And keep it moving as a result. So make sure you keep the terms to a minimum if you can, because it's the most beneficial deal. All right, and there you have it. Those are my thoughts on should you get married to an agent or a manager, or vice versa, however you want to put it. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I usually join a conversation within 48 hours of posting these videos, so I'd love to hear what you got to say. And don't forget, the conversation doesn't have to end here. I have a growing Discord channel, and I'm also on Patreon and Noodle, where I provide other exclusive content to those channels that you can check out. It's in the description below for those links. And for merch, check out purveyorunderground.com. You can grab cool t-shirts like this one. Much love and respect to you. Peace.